What's up, world? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to go through the how-to of submitting a Pals Chase package.
Check this out.
Just be human. Like I said, welcome back. Today we're gonna go step by step through a Pals Chase package as I've recently gone through it and have been approved to separate through Pals Chase. I'm gonna go be an Active Guard Reserve or AGR recruiter, and I'm super excited about it. But before we get started in this video, just another disclaimer that all views and opinions expressed in this video are solely those of myself, not the Department of Defense, not the Air Force, and not the military whatsoever. All right, so some other facts you need to know about before even considering submitting a Pals Chase package. On the enlisted side, in order to be eligible for it, you need to be at least halfway through your contract to apply to it. Reason for this is when you do separate through Pals Chase, they're gonna end up doubling the time you have left on your service commitment. So let's say your contract was 6 years, you've done 3 years, and you do get approved by Pals Chase to separate, you'll have 6 years required to do it in the reserves or the guard. However, very important again, which I mentioned in a previous video, is it's far easier to get approved if you're about 12 months out from separation. Reason being is that your career field manager or CFM and that Pals Chase board will look at that and already kind of see that you're within your last year, you're looking at separating, you're looking at continuing your service in the guard or reserve. Anything longer than that, and it's more than likely that it won't get approved because of manning levels. That often is the case based on AFPC, and many recruiters I've spoken with, they say that's usually the case. Best ideal time to apply is within 12 months of your separation date. Now, there are other situations where that might not be the case because sometimes the military changes, the Air Force specifically, in their needs or requirements for manning. And if they are trying to get people to go Pals Chase, they may actually let you do it far further out in advance, maybe 18 months plus out from your separation date, and offer you that opportunity because maybe manning is a little overstrength in the Air Force, which hasn't happened in a few years, but it did happen before. So that's something to consider as well. Now, if it's on the officer side, it's a little different. You're gonna need to actually have 2/3 of your contract completed before you can apply to Pals Chase. So it's quite different than half of your service commitment. On top of that, when you separate, you actually triple your service commitment, not double, triple. So keep that in mind on the officer side as well. Many people that would like to go guard or reserve Pals Chase, you're gonna triple your service commitment at that point because they know you've committed, they've invested in you as an officer, and they want to see you continue your service in the guard and reserve for 3 times the amount of time that you have given on your original contract to active duty. Now that those are in place, let's go ahead and jump into this package step by step. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to Air Force portal. As you can see here, I'm already logged in. You're going to go down here, you're going to search vMPF. This is the quickest way to really get there. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to go to vMPF again once the Air Force Personnel Center loads. Then after you click here on Virtual MPF or vMPF, first of all, this tells you what it is, right? But you're gonna click on it. It'll take you to the welcome screen for it, which I've already gone through. Then it's gonna bring you to this screen. You're gonna wanna go over here to the left and you're gonna wanna click on self-service actions. This will bring you to this screen. Here you'll see the separations option. So you'll wanna click on that. And then you'll want to go to voluntary separation. Another thing to keep in mind is that you want to get with your in-service recruiter or ISR before beginning this process. My situation was a little unique in that I actually spoke to a recruiter out at the gaining unit I was going to go to, and I ended up already interviewing for that AGR spot, being selected for it. I already had a letter of intent to hire and a welcome letter from them before I ever even spoke to my in-service recruiter. But for everybody else, you'll pretty much do that. You'll speak with the ISR first. They'll show you what bases have what positions open. You're more than welcome to cross-train into another AFSC or Air Force Specialty Code or job, or you can go ahead and keep that same job and just go AGR or traditional. It depends, right, on what you'd like to do. And I've covered that in a previous video as well. Here you'll see the types of separation options, and way down here, you see Pals Chase, an early release program which allows active Air Force members to request a transfer from active military service to an Air Reserve Component, ARC. ARC refers to the Air National Guard of the United States, ANGUS, and the United States Air Force Reserve, USAFR. You're gonna click on it and look at that. Bam, there you go. This is worthy of a screenshot if you haven't taken one yet. Or take a snippet of this photo because this is the list of everything you're gonna need to complete this Pals Chase package. As you can see here, there's quite a lot that goes into it. It also tells you to get with that ARC in-service recruiter, okay? That means your National Guard or your reserve recruiter in service. It means if you're active duty, on your base somewhere, there's an in-service recruiter for guard or reserve, you're gonna wanna get with them, and again, they'll help you with this PALS chase process. So, you're gonna need the 1288, application for ready reserve assignment, completed through the first endorsement. Very important, right? This is the main form they're gonna need from you. You're gonna fill out the first portion, and then you're gonna sign it, and then your commander or your squadron commander is the first endorsement. Then after the squadron commander signed it, you go ahead and you submit that original package into the system. You're gonna do that, not your in-service recruiter, you. So remember that. Everything's gonna be together in 1 or 2 PDFs tops, and you're gonna submit that in the system. Then you're gonna wait an estimated 30 to 60 days to get a tentative approval. They have up to 60 days, I believe, but 30 days is what mine happened in, exactly 30 days. It came back, tentative approval. I received an email from AFPC. My recruiter notified me, both the in-service and the gaining unit that I was working with. And then what happens is they do their second endorsement as the gaining unit. Then the in-service recruiter is the third endorsement. And then that in-service recruiter will submit it for you in the system for final approval. Final approval can take a while. Mine took exactly 2 months, and that has a lot to do with your data separation. So let's say theoretically it is October, and normally you would separate the following November, and you are requesting to separate in June. That means you have November, December, all the way through June before your new separation date that you are requesting. That means all the people before that get priority over you. That is how they do final approvals. So it might sit a while before you get that final approval. Another important thing to know is that the system does not update. vMPF does not update. You're gonna pretty much have to be patient. After about a month or so, you're gonna wanna check in with either the in-service recruiter or AFPC themselves to see what the status is on that. Again, mine took 2 months to get that final approval. It was very exciting once it did come through, but it did take a while, and I was definitely wondering whether or not final approval will come. However, based on everyone I've talked to recruiter-wise, AFPC-wise, it's very unlikely once you've received tentative approval that you will not receive a final approval. So here's that 1288 form. Again, you're gonna fill out all your information, rank, data rank, social, phone number, all of that, home address, email address. You can see it here. Date of birth, height, weight. Here I had NA, right? And then you put your estimated time of separation, your ETS date. You don't need to fill out 13 or 14 unless you are an officer. Then you're gonna fill out your present unit information, what unit you're trying to go to, any military schools you've attended so far, any military experience you have, right? Then your civilian education, then your civilian experience, any kind you have there. You're gonna initial the appropriate boxes. You're gonna initial that you have not misused any government travel charge card. Then here you go, if you got ready reserves. I have or have not had a UIF, unfavorable information file established. Right, it says everything here for you. It's pretty self-explanatory. Then you're gonna sign here and you're gonna date here. Everybody's different on what they allow. Mine was a ink signature. All right, then you get to this portion. This is really the portion for your commander, but the two will be AFPC from, your unit's commander. Recommend approval, UIF no, has completed fitness program, does meet qualification standards, continuing service, member meets other quality force standards for continuing service. Any remarks your commander wants to make, the signature block of your commander, signature, date. This will go up, part of your final package going in for tentative approval. There's 2 approvals that need to happen, tentative and final. This is the one that goes in first. Now let's say your tentative approval comes back approved. Here you go, comes back. Gaining unit will fill this out. Don't worry about this part, they'll do that. After they filled it out, it goes to the in-service recruiter. They put remarks, they do their signature, boom. That's the end of that form. Now you see here, we also need the form 2631, PALS Chase Statement of Understanding with a witnessing document signature, dates must match. So that form is right here. Pretty simple, fill it out at the top, rank, what your control AFSC is, and you're gonna go ahead and go down this list and initial those applicable. Any of the rest are NA that don't apply to you. Everything needs to be filled out. Gaining unit complete address, data separation, unit location, remarks, name and rank, signature of member, date, name, rank, and title of witnessing official, signature of witnessing official. That's it. Very important to get this statement of understanding because it is time sensitive and you want to make sure it's good to go and will last for the actual application submission that you do. So keep that in mind to get this done. Pretty much in the time you're talking to your IRSR, they'll make sure that they get this from you and that you submit it. Then you're gonna need your CDB, Career Data Brief. Career Data Brief is different than your actual records review. What you'll wanna do is you'll wanna be back on this screen. You'll see here you have records review. That's what most people like to see. Career Data Brief is what you actually need to click on. And this will go into your package as well. Again, as a PDF, you're gonna view it, click view, and you're pretty much just gonna print this out in a PDF and add it to your package. Make sure everything looks correct on here, nothing's messed up or anything like that. Next on the list, fitness tracker, MyFSS, actually tells you where to go. Then you're gonna also need your health assessment of PHA, dental individual mobilized record. It is your IMR. Then proof of vaccine status from that IMR immunization tab. Then you're gonna, as enlisted, provide justification and application comments, must clearly state why it's in the best interest of the Air Force to approve early release, continuing service. Then official hire letter from ARC selecting official, if available at the time of application. That is very important. Before I dive into these other ones, that letter of intent to hire is the real thing you need to almost guarantee that your package will be approved. You're basically telling AFPC, hey, I'm not just submitting a package and not doing my research. You're telling AFPC you've done the work, you were fully invested and committed to separating in Palos Chase. You've already found a unit, you've already talked to the unit, you've already lined a spot in the unit, and they have a position code for you at that unit or a pass code. So again, very important. You wanna make sure you have that letter of intent to hire. If you don't, I'm pretty sure you'll still get considered for approval. It just means you're not as far along in the process. You may not have had a chance to reach out and do an interview, or reach out and get that traditional reservist or traditional guard member position on that base. If that's the case, then they know, okay, they're still interested in Palos Chase, but they might not have something lined up yet. However, I'm telling you, if you can get that letter of intent to hire, that's a big deal. That is saying that base has a spot for you. They 100% want you. Here's your spot. This is the spot number. You're good to go as long as the active duty Air Force lets you separate. So next, after you've had those other forms filled out and completed, you're gonna wanna also get on MyFSS. So go back to Air Force Portal, go to MyFSS. Once it loads, you wanna scroll down, go to MyFitness. This is where you'll grab your fitness tracker. Grab fitness tracker report, you'll click that, printable view. You'll save this as a PDF as well. Control P, save as a PDF, and that part's done. Next, you'll go back to My Air Force Portal. You'll look for MyIMR, you'll click on it. I already have all these up. I already used my CAC to log into everything, but you're gonna do that. You're gonna click along the way, appropriate windows. Then you're gonna come to your IMR and you'll make sure you get a screenshot of this screen, the main screen, that shows your status as green across the board. Then you're gonna wanna also get your immunizations. Go to immunizations tab, you're gonna wanna get that, and that is the screen that you just need to have a screenshot of. If they need anything else, then get that DD2766. However, this screen should suffice for what they're looking for, and you should be good to go. That's pretty much all you'll need for the package, aside from the justification. And for that portion, since I already submitted a package, it's gonna look a little different right now because mine's already gone through, been approved, so all I can do is view my application. Essentially, this is what you'll see, giant block for justification. I highly recommend that you use up as much space as you can to justify why the active duty Air Force should let you separate your contract early to serve in the Guard or Reserve. What I did is I, of course, already thanked the board at the beginning for even considering this application. Then I provided further justifications, which is for the Air Force. How is it justified as being a pro for the Air Force? Then how is it justified for being a pro for the gaining unit? Then how is it justified for being a pro for my family? And then how is it justified for being a pro for myself? And then I provided the in-service recruiter information because that's also required in the process. Then commander's portion is very simple. They don't really have to do anything. You fill out your commander's info in the application as you do it. Aside from the meeting you either had with them, which I highly recommend is meeting with your commander if you get the chance to sit down and have have them sign that approval so that you can get that palace chase approved, or route it whatever way your unit does it for you. Everyone's unit's a little different. I was able to meet with my commander. Other than that, after you meet with them and they sign that 1288 form, there's nothing else your commander does. They will basically just receive an email saying that you applied the palace chase, and they'll receive an email for every approval status after that. Then again, you'll get tentative approval. Then you'll have to wait for final approval after that second and third endorsement of that 1288 is completed. They'll resubmit that. And that's it. And then you just wait for an email from AFPC and then you're done. So hopefully this video was able to show you step by step how to do the palace chase package effectively to up your odds of getting approved and making sure you hit every single thing they're looking for. If you like this video, please hit that like button and also subscribe to my channel. See you on the next video.